say about that last game.
Indeed, we do. Thank you very much, Joe. The comeback from Millenium in this one, and you called it the Soraka pick coming out there, which paid dividends in the end. Can you tell us a little bit about how central that Soraka pick was to a long-out game like this?
The longer the game goes, the better gets Soraka. So it's pretty much endgame Soraka with tank items that's unkillable, and she just provides heals. And the reason why you don't build to AP is because of her passive. Like, her passive works with, for every 2% missing health, her heals get 1% more effective. So if you have a late game tank like Ryze, who has like 4k HP or something, you can heal for 700 basically when he has like low HP. And the fact that they had Ryze and Soraka together, they had enough magic shred from the E from Ryze and the Q from Soraka. But yeah, both, they kind of dragged out the game because of weird itemization, I think. And Soraka should have went full tank with like Randuin's, Ninja Tabi, and a Thornmail. Then the game would have been over much earlier, I think.
And talking about obviously the long game, we were talking off air. It's because the Aurelia was picked into the Ryze. Yep. Obvious big advantage for Aurelia, but Ryze just has to farm.
Yeah, I think NIP did a really good job of calling the 1-on-2. And they wanted to have the Aurelia with Ryze matchup because Aurelia smashes Ryze so hard. Like 0-0 had perfect CS at 15 minutes, and Ryze was like down 60 CS, I think. And if they had a better team comp to push the advantage, like a different AD carry maybe even, like a Caitlyn or like something with more range, they could have sieged towers way more effectively. And yeah, I think that this 1-3-1 split push isn't working in late game, simply because Ryze can take Aurelia later on in the game, and they can never teamfight because Soraka wins every teamfight. Like, it's, yeah.
And obviously, one of the things we noticed was the fact that they did have so many melee champions. Yeah. But they had the Draven in there, but you were saying it's simply too short a range to actually, it was just too risky.
Well, Draven can't do anything simply because he gets Ryze rooted instantly and dies. Like, 1 WQ with a Soraka silence, he can't even flash out or heal or something. And he has a Nocturne diving on them. So the second he gets into melee range to the Ryze roots him into Nocturne ultimate, and he dies, so yeah.
You talk about the Ryze and the Nocturne. You were kind of talking about how it isn't actually that good of a combo because Nocturne needs all that farm to stack up his Feral Flare.
Well, the way it worked was like Millenium had disadvantage in the early game anyway because they decided to lane swap and got counter lane swap, and Aurelia just has a better matchup against Ryze. And Nocturne is supposed to farm the whole time, but he didn't do it. He stacked Feral Flare at like 16 or 17 minutes. But yeah, I don't like Nocturne and Ryze together simply because normally as Ryze you want to lane swap, or you get lane swapped on, and then you just deep freeze for like 20 minutes and farm up. And yeah, that's how I don't like these two picks together. I think if they had a different top lane instead of Ryze, like a Renekton, then it might have been a shorter game actually.
And obviously, they're now all equal, 1-1.
Yep.
It was a very long, drawn-out game, mentally draining for these teams. You called it game 1. You said they need to pull out Soraka. Well, they did that in the 1. What are they going to do in game 3?
Okay, the problem is, even if they don't get Soraka, Millenium plays Ziggs, and Ziggs has the same effect. He can stall forever. So as long as Alternate keeps picking late game comps, and NIP is not changing their style of 1-3-1, then I think we will see another 50-minute game again.
Well, that would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Best of 5 games, all 70 minutes. I'm all for it. But for now, we're going to check out with you guys at home, because at the start of today's show, we asked you to let us know which of the teams in the Summer Promotion tournament do you think would perform the best in the next LCS split, and why. And here's what you had to say. First one is from @Federico0. Definitely NIP. They've been looking really strong, and to use a CLG term, has the roster with the most potential, and game 1 coming out very strong. Here, not that good, but still a very solid team all around.
A lot of irony that they did use the CLG term, CLG EU maybe that term, but they are a team that do have very strong laners, but they seem stuck in their way. To me, watching that game, it doesn't seem that a lot has changed since when they got knocked out by KMT.
And it also makes me think of when they were 1 game down.
Yeah.
Last time over in promotion, we saw their faces really into the ground. Not good. We will have to see if they can pick it back up. The second tweet is from @WormheadVG. I think C9 Eclipse will do the best. They have been destroying in the challenger scene. And well, and the Copenhagen Games just falling short. They of course have that new jungler coming in, which has made a very big difference.
Yeah, I don't know whether you're too aware of
Yeah.
Ko. Ko
Yeah.
made a big difference on Cloud9 Eclipse. However, because he's still 16, he's not old enough to play in the LCS, not old enough to play in the qualifiers. This is a big problem for them because they've not actually won anything without him. So they got to the quarterfinals when they were using the previous jungler. They've now got Santorin in, who they just got to the finals of Copenhagen Games, but he just doesn't seem effective as Ko. Ko is a fantastic jungler in Europe.
Yeah, I think Ko is really good too. He is very talented, he's young, and he will play LCS in the future for sure, but I honestly don't think they can beat support crew without their jungler, simply because Mr. Rallis is really good. Like, he's talented too, and I think if he has a good day, he can just solo carry the game. And yeah, C9 is good too. They have like a lot of help from their analyst, Charlie, and they play a different style to the C9 and NA, and I think that might help them a lot actually going into this game. But on the other hand, I think support crew is, even if they're like a relegated team, they're still good. So.
I want to stick on the Cloud9 term because Cloud9 Tempest also play EG in North America. How do you see that one
They're also really
going?
good. Yeah. C9 is also really good in the NA scene. Like, they have Altec, the AD carry. He is also young, like 16 years old. And yeah, they're also really good. So.
All the young talents bursting onto the scene. The last tweet is from @MertRusso. LMQ, everyone has incredible mechanics and they play with a confidence which have not many LCS teams have. And I gotta say, just in the challenger scene, LMQ all over.
LMQ is good, yeah. But it's challenger scene and they showed some signs of choking. So they will have a hard time getting into, like, they won't get the 3-0, I think, against XCG. And it's really a matter of, is XCG mentally prepared for this game? Because I think they can definitely take it. Like, it's gonna be close, and yeah.
Very interesting. Well, you guys at home, thank you for those answers, and we'll see if your predictions come true. Remember to keep chatting about the Summer Promotion Tournament games with us by sending your tweets to @LOLesports with that hashtag LCS. We need to head to base and complete our last whisper, but we'll be right back for the third match between Millenium and Ninjas in Pyjamas. Stay tuned.